Hello guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the build of the MR2. So I left off in the last video stating I wasn't going to film the installation of the front harness, and as you can see there's no front harness hanging from the rafters. So yeah, the front harness is fully installed, went perfectly fine, everything lined up as it should do, everything's installed and it's ready to go. And we know that the interior harness is perfectly fine also, so that's been fully replaced. So that leads me to the harness at the rear of the car. Now, in the first video that I put on YouTube with this MR2, we had two of these. We had a red one and a white one, and there was wires all over the engine bay. So I wasn't too sure what the purpose of these was for. I thought these was wired up for some sort of show, maybe to put down the side vents of the car, so when you look at the grills from the side they'll light up. Maybe I had no idea. Turns out they could be fog lights after all. So these wires actually headed back to the rear of the car, and they were kind of just clustered up in a big rat nest. Now I did film this last night, so yeah, let's get to it. Okay, so I need to tie these up. Put this back in place. Yeah, I need to remove this wire. Cover all this back up. Yeah, cover them up. Yeah, same on this side. Tie that up. So these look to be a fog light. So I'll remove these and tidy all this up, I think. So last night, that was the end of it. I was going to wrap it up and then come back out this afternoon and continue. However, I got a bit too excited and I thought I just want to see if the engine cranks. I wasn't going to fully start it. I did remove the ignition relay, but I just wanted to see if the engine would crank, just for peace of mind. So I got the GoPro, set it away, recording. However, as when I checked the footage, there was no footage of this. I don't know if the memory card got corrupt or the battery just died or what happened, but there was no footage. But this is basically what happened. I put the key in, dash lights came on, blowers, everything came on, the fans came on, everything all looked good, looked well, looked promising, and I thought I'll crank the engine just once. Quick turn the key, all I get is a click, one single click, and that is it. The relay was clicking and the starter motor was making a clunking noise. So, you know, the first thing I thought was, the starter motor faulty. So I go out and inspect it, it looks okay, the wiring looks connected okay. The only reason I could see why it wasn't turning the engine is because the engine was locked up. So we put the car in third gear and tried to push it forward, and there was no movement whatsoever. The car was fully, it was almost like the handbrake was on. Obviously, to put the car in neutral, the car's light as a feather, glides forward, no problems. Put it back in third, nothing. So our next step, I removed all 4 plugs and I just put just a dribble in each cylinder. I didn't want to fill the cylinders up. Normally that's what you would do, but in this situation I just wanted to put enough in just to moisten the rings, just to release them. I'm guessing one of the intake valves was left open and the moisture had worked its way through the you know, past the air filter and up on top, up onto the top one of the pistons, possibly. That's the only thing I can think that would hopefully stick the rings. Either that or the engine's kaput. But, you know, I'm taking the guy's word that the engine was perfectly fine. The only thing that stopped it from starting was a small, I wouldn't say fire, but there was some smouldering going on. So put some of this in, left it a bit, and then we spent, I don't know, 10-20 minutes behind the car, both of us pushing and then rocking it back, pushing, rocking it back, and it took some doing, but eventually there was a little crack, and you just felt the springs kind of, you know, give up, the rings, sorry, and then the pistons start to move. And I did put a rod in each of the cylinders, and the rod was moving up and down every time I moved the car back and forwards. The pistons were all moving, so I was relieved with that. So this thing did what it does well, you know, when sticking an engine. So I thought, great, that's why the start motor wouldn't start the car, because the engine was totally locked up. So we got to start it again. Put the key in, turn it around, click. One quite noticeably loud click. So I got the persuader out. One of us in the car turned the key. The other one, i.e. me, was giving us some love taps on the start motor. Just, you know, some gentle taps just to try and engage it, try and get the thing working, but nothing. It wouldn't work. It's just one single click. Now, a low battery, you would normally get several clicks, and you would normally see a power drain. So you would normally see your dash would dim, or your lights would dim, or something, or the blow motor would maybe cut out, or the radio would cut out. In this case, it's a single click. So to me, I'm hoping it's a connection issue. So it could be the wire that goes into the starter motor, or it could be anywhere from the starter motor to the front of the car to the battery. There's a hot lead that goes from the battery directly to the starter. I'm hoping it's just a case of that wasn't making full contact. So I'm going to clean all that up and try it again. So hopefully, all being well, simply just inspecting and cleaning and maintaining the hot lead to the starter motor, that should fix it. Other issues that we had. In the last video, as you recall, the car originally has quite large front indicator bulbs. I've removed them and installed some, well, not aftermarket, but these are generally what go on the side of a car for indicator. Now, when I put they all work, that's fine, they do flash, they're all connected correctly. However, inside the car, your display flickers like mad, you know, kind of when you got a blown bulb. It has that kind of effect. However, when you put the hazards on, the hazards are perfectly fine. That when you put the hazards on, all 6 indicators flash at a constant speed, at what it should be, but left or right indicators flash like mad. So I think it's expecting 2 bigger bulbs in the circuit. So what I might have to do is get the wedge type bulbs, but you can get the bigger ones, and try that. If that fixes it, I will have to get some different indicators for the front, unfortunately. But for the time being, they'll do for now. They're installed and they kind of work, and I think it's just a case of the bulb. The other issue I've got is, well, this is the old front harness, not much left of it now. But these 2 plugs here, these plug into your front radiators, one side, one the other. Now, when I put the ignition on, the front fans come on and the rear intercooler fan comes on. Now that isn't normal, and they come on at full speed. So I believe that is an issue. I had to get some sort of warning to let you know that something's at fault. Now, what I did forget to connect, and I haven't actually gotten this harness anymore, because if you remember right, I chopped it off to transfer it across, but it's a plug. It's a round circular plug, and I thought this had a similar one still on it, but it doesn't. It goes under the back of the radiator. It kind of clips from beneath, and I'm pretty sure I didn't connect that. So I'm hoping once I connect that plug into the bottom of the radiator cowl, that hopefully will control the fans, and the fans won't come on. They're not supposed to come on until the engine's running, I believe. I've never driven an MR2, but I would imagine if the fans were going to come on, it'd be when the engine's running, but generally they should only come on when it's overheating. So that is one more issue to look at. Okay guys, there you go. So we have 3 issues to look at. Firstly, the indicators are flashing too fast, the blow motors are staying on, which they shouldn't do, and the car won't start. So obviously the main one is that the car won't start, so we'll look into that one first. However, what I am going to do is start installing a few of the accessories, just temporarily, because I do want to go through these. I want to give these a good thorough clean, get them all looking as best as I can, really. And maybe not so much a radio, I probably won't be putting that in this afternoon. However, the blow motor, the actual controls for the blow motor, a few things such as this thing here, some sort of inline fuse which must go to the dash somewhere, but putting all these in just in case one of these is the reason why the car won't start. It seems like a long shot, but for those of you who don't know, the indicator switch, sorry, the hazard light switch at the in your dash, if that's disconnected, your indicators won't work at all. They just don't get recognized. So as soon as you plug that in the hazard light switch back in, your indicators start working. So you never know, something as simple as this fuse or the fact that this isn't attached isn't completing some sort of ground circuit could be the reason behind why the car won't start, but we'll look into that later. Before we get started, this is what's actually in the indicators right now. This is what is in the front and in the side, and I believe that this isn't big enough, and as a result it's giving a false as if the bulb's blown. So normally you would have the bigger rounder bulbs with the bayonet where you push and twist fittings. I do have some of these. These are for fog lamps, and these are a much higher wattage. These are 16 watt, so we'll put 2 of these in the front just to kind of replicate what would have been there previously, and hopefully that will solve the issue. If it does, I'll have to look into getting some bigger indicators for the front. It'll look a bit unsightly. It's not, these are a bit difficult to hide really. You definitely won't get flat indicator lenses. These be more of a, you know, kind of like almost like a headlamp bulb fitting. So, but we'll look into it. We'll put them in. If it works, great stuff. If not, we'll look into something else. Alright, so the pack is on. So you got this open, have you? This here, this pin, I think the vent, I think is the intercooler fan. So I think this should be one of these relays in here, which means that when the temp sensor picks up the correct temperature, it kicks it in.
Oh, okay.
But I'm guessing they haven't transferred the temp sensor across, hence the loose wires. So I think this is a manual override. So this will probably be a 12 volt in, 12 volt out, and that's probably bridging the two together.
Right. To be honest with you though, you're better off having that run all the time.
Yeah, I think that's why they've did that. Yeah. So that should be okay. The ignition, I'll take that off because obviously the coils will be sparking.
Yeah.
The HT leads will be
out or not?
Electrocuting, yeah. So if you can just pull them two out, please. But with the ignition off, they'll be fine. Otherwise, you could be getting arcing on the on the aluminum.
I don't know, you did this one last time.
I'm hopeful. I think it's going to work.
What, actually turn over?
Yeah.
You really need to take this off.
No, it will come out. Trust me. I did it in the dark.
It feels like I'm going to damage it though. There you go. You need to take that off.
Right. 2 meters. 2 meters.
Oh.
So. That's interesting. With that door open.
Yeah.
The door open light hasn't came on.
That one does.
Yeah, it does for me. Shut that door and open again, please. I'll have to check that. Open it. Alright, so the central locking kind of is working, but it's not unlocking when you unlock the driver's door. That one's staying shut. Just little things to take note of. Electric mirrors. Ignition. Oh, they are working. The mirrors don't go left or right, but they go up and down.
Right, okay. So they're not working.
Oh, that's going up and down as well. Maybe they don't go left and right.
Going down.
Yeah, but it's not going left or right. Oh, it is. That one is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I'm just having a bit of a shakedown because windows work.
Works.
And back up. Let me try it with this switch.
Yep.
Cool. Alright, so we're getting some electrics. Click. the indicators,
Yeah,
they work fine off the hazards, but off the indicator stalk. But we think that's a bulb, don't we?
Yeah, let's go with the bulbs.
Yeah.
We've had that problem before.
Yeah, there's this fuse block I found, and I just assumed it was from somewhere in here.
Everything's in this one. And that's the fan. Everything's in there.
It looks like it should plug into something. I just don't know what.
Knew where the switch down there.
No, that there is
Heater.
fog lights.
Fog lights.
There's the heater plugs, but they're all in here. Right, I'll do that plug at the front so the fans will stop, hopefully.
Yep.
Right, that plugs in. And the fan's still on. So it wasn't that. Yeah, the battery, the starter motor, the wire is the one below.
Yeah.
That. Is it the one below? No, sorry. The starter motor goes directly from the starter to the back. I guess you can call it a firewall.
Yeah.
And then straight into the car, directly to the battery. So it's getting juiced, and I've checked. That's got continuity. That's
Yeah.
perfectly fine. No resistance.
Okay.
But there was a bit of resistance to here, but that just could be the connectors.
Losing power over the
Yeah, but it was
distance.
very little.
Okay.
And these go down, obviously, don't they, into the back of the front. Well, I can see the fuel filter. At least I think it's a fuel filter. Might have to remove the starter motor. I didn't want to, but I thought that would have came in and out. So that was a disengage from the flywheel once the car started. Or does it just spin the whole? No, I can't just spin the whole time.
Nah, it'd burn this out, wouldn't it?
Oh. I think that's the issue.
That makes sense, that's well.
Oh, have a good clean. This is easier. How much room you got? I probably should have took the airbox, the hoses off. I don't mind.
I suppose you could have done them.
I'm not going to put a brake bar on them or anything.
Yeah.
The one I'll do, I don't think it's going to work. I think it's broke.
At least you...
So all the terminals are cleaned up, it's all lubricated.
Yeah.
So
It's worth a shot. It's worth a shot. It'd be interesting to see if that noise comes back.
which one?
The dunk noise.
Oh, the clunk.
Yeah.
Well, online it says that's a faulty wire connection, not so much a bad starter.
Alright.
Which, judging by the condition of these wires, I mean they're nice and shiny now, but they were, well, they're not perfect, but they're a hell of a lot. Which one goes on first? Does it really matter? I suppose not. Well, it's a Monday, so if I
you
do
go
need
to parts, yeah,
for
and
the
get
weekend. It's got one bolt, it's grounded,
yeah,
it's live, relay, ignition relay still not in there. put the battery back on.
Yeah.
And
try it.
watch it go click. Nothing.
Click dead.
You go. Make sure it's not in gear.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Remember, if it does turn knock it off. Yeah.
Okay. Ready?
No. Oh.
Same noise.
Do it. Right, go for it. Whoa. That was it.
That was compression, so
Holy shit.
I think it was just shite stuck in it.
Pull these out because it'll be RTF.
Fluid.
Try it one last time just to see if it's going to do it again. It wasn't just a one off, just for a brief second. Right, stop.
Ready?
Yep. Out of gear, yeah?
Check, yeah.
And then crank.
It's really awkward again. Right. Ready?
Yep. One.
Ooh.
Keep doing it. If it starts doing it, don't take your finger off now.
Okay.
Say you take your finger off.
No.
No. Right, keep doing it. Keep.
Don't touch this time. So if you tapping it,
There we go.
without a
Go.
hammer this time.
Keep, is that you? Keep doing it. For compression. Is that you coming on and off?
Yeah.
Just keep it on for 10 seconds. Stop.
That works.
And again, 10 seconds. Stop. Crank it, knock it off. Right.
Go put the plugs in. That's one thing. Do you know what I mean? It's from so far you've got from the battery back to here. It works. Starting motor works.
Ignition in. Alright, let's put the plugs in.
Yep.
Put the coil pack in
Yep.
and then see what happens.
Yeah.
I don't hear a fuel pump. So I don't think the fuel pump's on.
Okay, well at least you're ruling each bit out,
But
aren't
the
you?
fuel pump could be a full compression. Like it could be
True,
built up pressure. So
yeah, true.
should we do a compression test?
Might as well. Do you know what it should be?
170, something like that maybe?
Different for every engine, isn't it?
Well, over 100. I would probably have to guess about 170
Right.
would be fairly acceptable maybe. I should really research into it. Look into it. What's the odds that this is the right fitting? No. So this actually is the right connection. So maybe it just wasn't going in straight.
Yeah, sure.
It's quite a deep. This is going to be so loud. Hope it's not.
You know it is as well.
So give it a crank.
Yeah.
Hope it's at least 100. I would imagine 100 would be.
Okay, wouldn't it?
It's got to be over, well over 90.
Should be. I'm trying to put my Ford key in.
Watch it not start this time.
Ready?
Yep.
Oh.
Do it again. Oh, no, nearly did. Do it again. Wow. Apart from the coil packs were firing,
Yeah.
I believe them sparking away. 230? 220?
Okay.
Yeah, oh, it's just under 230. That seems really high, but maybe that's normal.
We have to have a look because everything's different. My Skyline was different. I thought the Skyline was low, but they said, oh, it's actually the highest I've seen.
Well, that seems high. I'm glad it's not like 90 or something, but
Yeah.
I won't check the rest just yet. I'll do these another day because I wanna. So the start is sticking, so it's either going to keep sticking or it's going to free up after a couple of runs. Right. So I know it's. I mean, I didn't think it would have an immobiliser being a 93 car because that's got to be quite rare.
And you've ripped the whole harness out, so it wouldn't have been that.
Sticky starter. All my life working on cars, I've never had a sticky starter.
I've never.
I always watch these videos where people have like cars from the 60s and they always have issues with the starters, but I've never known.
Yeah, never known a car. Nah, not as long as I've never had a car where the starter motor's gone. I've had an alternator go.
Oh yeah.
Not a starter.
Well, first everything.
Mm.
Well, it will be rough because it's going to be the line. The fuel that's in the line is going to be at least a year old. So it's probably going to run like a bag of nails. That's why I was a bit concerned it's a bit late. What would you class as late? Late to start a car? 8 o'clock?
9 o'clock.
9? Yeah. No, it's late for me. Like.
As long as it's daylight.
As long as it's daylight.
It's fine.
So in the winter, 4 o'clock.
Oh no, in the winter, it's still 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Try to actually start it.
Clank it. Yeah. Yep.
Ready?
Yep. Fuel pump. And that is going to be above the. I think the next thing to do, probably the best thing to do, would be to see if any fuel comes out the fuel pump. It's out the actual fuel filter, rather than pulling the whole fuel pump out.
Right.
But if the C open is the relay and that's clicking, it's giving power to the fuel pump. So maybe the fuel pump's failed.
Okay.
Or stuck. Are you sure this fuel is it not going down?
Honestly, it's a lot. It's 3/4.
Put the ignition lights, the headlights on so it lights up. Well, that's not lighting up.
No. Every cylinder.
This is a pain.
I've seen one of them years.
You use it quite a lot in small engines. Try that.
Yep.
Got spark.
Okay.
So that's good. So we've got spark, we've got air. I think we haven't got fuel.
Well, that's the only thing it could be, isn't it?
How easy does this fuel pump come off, and is it going to soak me in the face?
I think it will. You're losing the light now as well.
Do you reckon that nut is how you get the top off? You want to drain the fuel tank, Woody, tight ass. Is it going down? Is it still? Because that looks like it's went down further.
It looks the same to me. It looks the same to me.
Put some fresh fuel in, just out of curiosity.
Send it on.
Unplug that. Into cooler fan.
Yeah.
Silence.
Yeah.
Right, ignition on yet?
Yeah.
Crank it for 15 seconds.
Yeah.
No.
Can't hear fuel.
No. Try again.
Hiccups.
Yeah, it's out the air filter, the hole. It's got to be fuel. I think the fuel pump.
I'll send you the link for how he does it, but it's on all 4 posts.
Yeah, I have to
use
jack
an
the whole
axle.
car up, won't I?
Yeah, you have to use an axle thing to pull it down.
I can test it. I can remove the fuel filter, and if fuel's pissing out at me, then I know that it's getting fuel. But I can't hear it priming. Right, well, I'm happy. It's a good result. The engine's not seized. It's not locked up. We're getting spark. Start motor's starting.
Yeah.
So, I think it's a fuel pump, mate. I really do. I think
you're right. I'll send you that link. It shows you how he does it.
I'll tell you what, out of curiosity, before I go in, I'm going to take that nut off. Because I'm going to buy a new fuel filter anyway.
Okay.
If I'm going to put a new fuel pump on. But I'm going to take that nut off that fuel filter and see what happens.
Okay. So that's something to do with boost. Because that's a vacuum.
Yeah, that'd be, yeah.
So that must be like when you're on full send.
Full send.
Do you reckon it could just be that resistor? That relay, sorry.
Possibly. I mean, is it the same relay? And see if that to you feels that it's clicking. It's one of you. Just put your finger on it. It's strange how there's no lights on the speedo.
Yeah, I noticed that.
That's weird. Okay.
You didn't feel anything?
You didn't?
No.
Well, the fuel gauge just went up a little bit, so it's working.
Nope. Didn't feel anything. I can hear something, but it sounds like it's like here, not that.
Oh, you know better than working on cars.
No, alright. Oh, so you're checking to see whether there's any.
Yeah, they're all okay. And if anything was going to control this, fuse-wise, it would be here.
Yeah.
I can't imagine it'd be the fuse at the front of the car.
It wouldn't make sense.
That would be stupid, yeah. Especially when, if you transplant a turbo into an NA car, you bring the whole harness, the engine bay harness, so it would all be confined to here.
Yeah.
So anything that controls any of this will be here.
Yeah.
Like I say, I've got a box full of relays for this car.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, from all the harnesses I've bought.
Yeah.
I've got about 15 to 20 different relays, but not this one.
Not this one.
But to be fair, it does actually have written on a fuel pump relay. So.
Because I suppose it's probably one that wouldn't come with a harness, is it?
Yeah.
The whole fuel pump setup separate.
It's bespoke to the fuel pump. Okay, so it's the next day. So last night we managed to get the starter motor working. We took the starter motor out, give it a good clean, put it back in, a few love taps, and starter motor, it seems to be doing okay. Time will tell if it is going to fail in the future. I will get it replaced, but at the minute it seems to be doing okay. We checked for spark. We've got plenty of spark. We have compression, and as you see in the video, the engine will not start. So I removed the top of the fuel filter, and obviously no fuel came out. So that leads me to believe that there's a problem with the fuel pump. But firstly, there's actually a resistor in the engine bay, and there's also a fuel pump relay. So I took the relay out, took the bits, and when you move up the switch, what's in the center, these pins, they all do what they're supposed to do. The continuity, the connection bridges between the two, and it all manually seems to work. If you jump the FP and the B plus B in the diagnostics port, that will also manually override the fuel pump. So we'll try that first actually, and see if the fuel pump does kick in. If we can hear the fuel pump and we can see fuel coming out of the fuel filter, then we know that it could quite simply be the fuel pump relay, or possibly the resistor that sits alongside the relay. So we'll go and look into it now. We'll try and jump the connections and see what happens. If that doesn't work, I have read that you can use a multimeter, and you can connect I'm assuming positive to the FP port, and then there should be E1 or E2 port. And if you insert this into that port and put it onto voltage, 20 volts, I should be receiving roughly between 10 and 14 volts through that connection. If it's less than that, if it's 1 volt, for example, then there's obviously no power going to the fuel pump, so there's something wrong with the wiring. But we'll look into it. But I think firstly, I'm going to try and bypass the fuel pump relay and see how far that gets us. So yeah, let's get to it. So when you put the key in the barrel and turn it, This sends power
to the fuel pump,
which then they've ran off directly to the fuel pump. So I think, maybe that's what I'm missing. So I'm guessing this harness doesn't communicate with the turbo engine because the engine's been swapped out. I'm guessing this has been done for that to work. Well, I've put it all back together the best I could. Can you smell fuel?
Yeah, I could as soon as I walked over.
Yeah, as soon as I figured out what it was, that started kicking off fuel everywhere. So that's all buttoned back up. I've had to put some new brass washers on it.
Okay.
So I think it's ready to start.
That'd be cool.
Scary.
So
that's why I wanted you here.
The spice though, where was it? Because
the fire extinguisher.
It's
in here.
underneath the car.
Now this isn't ideal. Yep, this isn't ideal. I'm pretty sure it's not that safe, but it will do for the time being. But I might have to put me on relay or whatever, or figure out some better way of doing it. But essentially, this isn't properly installed. Just literally jammed in just to test it. But it runs. This is the power line. That's the ground. That's the power to the fuel pump.
Yep.
I've just run a hot wire from that over there
to the ignition.
To the ignition in the back.
Okay.
Quieter.
When it drops down to like 1,000.
Wow.
We're trying to blow the shite out.
Sounds smooth. Right? Sounds loud. Over a year and there's no shit coming out. I wouldn't yet, not until it settles the 2,000 RPM is already quite high.
Yeah, clear. Yeah, you're clear.
Gearbox is spot on. Range Rover's quite big,
Oh, there's a block in your view.
Is the back light alright?
Yeah, you're fine there. That's good.
these back up, put the hinges back on, and put the side covers on, and then maybe the cowl.
Have you got the new cover?
Yeah.
But the full thing? Yeah.
Oh no, just the side
bits, yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I mentioned before I was going to paint that turbo, the engine cover black, because it's the wrong colour red.
Yeah.
It's more orange, that, isn't it?
Pretty much.
Paint the side panels black. Tape this off, like round here maybe.
Paint all that black. Yeah.
Paint this bit black, and then paint the louvers black. So it'd be like a black piece, and then possibly, because this is so damaged, because of these holes, it might look a bit too much, but it would save me having to spray the whole car for now if I just painted this and the louvers black, and then maybe did some sort of design down here to cover these up.
And the problem is you're going to have to bond all these, otherwise,
oh yeah,
that's just so pushed in, it's fiberglass, isn't it? So you're going to pull it.
So there's plenty to do with the door lights work.
I noticed that, yeah, I noticed it the other day.
So little things like these are covered in overspray, so these need buffing.
Yeah.
Just simple stuff. Little jobs I can do on the night now.
Yeah.
The car's moved over, so I've got better access anyway.
Yeah.
So
cool.
And get all the dash parts inside cleaned up.
Yeah.
So the minute they're all in the garage. I mean, I could even go. Possibly, depends how nice it drives and how much I like the car. But what colour? Oh, red, a fresh red.
Same red or different?
Ferrari red.
Oh, Rosa red.
But I might even go as far. Well, I am going to take the seats out and repair them, but I might even clean the carpets and stuff as well. But if I am going to respray the whole car, I'm going to have to get all this stuff repaired. The doors catching. It's not the door's problem, the door's fine, it's just too high.
Probably where people have been getting in and out as well.
Yeah, so there's still quite a bit to do. I've basically just touched the surface, haven't I? Realistically. Okay, so I think we'll leave it there. I'm happy. It's a good result for the afternoon. The car is finally running once again. I'm very happy about that. It did cross my mind at one point. I thought it was never going to happen. One thing I am a bit uncertain about and not too happy about really is this connection. Now, you guys got to remember, this is a non-turbo dash harness. The front is a non-turbo harness. The only harness which is a turbo harness in my car is the engine bay harness. So the engine bay harness and the engine are turbo. So I'm guessing whoever installed this engine, they took upon themselves to decide this was the best way to get the fuel pump to work. So this is, like, as I mentioned before, it's a hot wire from the ignition straight over to the fuel pump. So that fuel pump is on. So as soon as you turn that key, the fuel pump is primed and it's running all the time. Now, it will work. I'm not too sure if it's the safest way of doing it. I have to do a bit of research, but I don't like the idea that as long as that ignition is turned on, that pump is going to be, you know, forcing fuel out. In the event of an accident, for example, the key could still be turned on. There could be still power going from this, which would mean the fuel pump would still be running. So from a safety point of view, I don't know if it's ideal. I can't imagine it would be. So there you go, guys. We're going to leave it here. And yeah, thanks for watching. And stay tuned for the next episode. Later. Bye.